This is KTN Friday Briefing with Betty Kyallo.
We have agreed on a mechanism that will separate fees that are charged by counties from taxes.
Ending ridiculous county taxes, Ruto brokers' argument to rationalize tax laws. Why journalist Walter Barasa may be sent to The Hague.
Pia mtufuata gari juu kutumia ikono wakora ndani hakushika mkora hakuwa mkora na aliwafuata bona hakuwa.
Nairobi's Roy Sambo bus operators riot over killings and carjackings. And 5 magistrates fired after failing to account for their wealth.
Good evening from our KTN studios here in Nairobi. Like always, it's a pleasure seeing you tonight on Friday Briefing. In a minute or two, we will be bringing you the latest news updates that the KTN team has been working on throughout the day. We also have your favorite segments of the guest anchor and, of course, Mind Your Language. And on the hot seat tonight is Size 8. You will be seeing her in just a short while. She is getting ready for that big assignment. There she is, Size 8. Are you excited?
Scared.
Don't be scared. I'll be good too.
I'm used to singing, not all this.
But singing is the same as kind of talking fast.
Let's see if I can do it.
All right then, Size 8 will be joining us in a short while. But also remember, Willis the Wordmaster is also on standby in Kisumu County. There he is for, of course, tonight's lesson, which I know will be quite something. A packed show, no doubt. But we start with the stories making headlines. Now, in a push to address the recent race for all manner of taxes by county governments, a new deal has been reached that will require counties to defer to Treasury and the Commission on Revenue Allocation before setting out new taxes. Now, this came out after the second meeting of the Intergovernmental Budget and Economic Council chaired by Deputy President William Ruto.
Deputy President William Ruto met governors from Kenya's 47 counties to iron out a raft of matters standing in the way of devolution. Topping this list, the question of taxation. The governors emerged from a 3-hour-long closed-door session with a new approach to the question of taxation. Counties will have to defer to the Commission on Revenue Allocation before imposing taxes.
And taxes are subjected to the proper consultation mechanism that has been set up between Treasury and the Commission on Revenue Allocation.
This comes in the wake of the adoption of a resolution by senators that the Senate will debate a motion to nullify all the finance acts passed by various counties after citizens went to the streets to protest what they called ridiculous taxes. In today's meeting, the governors also agreed to differentiate fees levied by the county from taxes to be paid by residents of various counties. The meeting also thrashed out the explosive issue of rationalizing staff in the counties.
Any new staff being hired, the first port of call should be the staff that we have. And if the staff that we have, either at the county or the national level, and they can be transferred from one level to another, in the absence of the right quality of staff, then the process of hiring for specially qualified staff can then proceed.
As financial budgets for county governments came under scrutiny, it was agreed that the Commission on Revenue Allocation, Treasury and county governments hold further meetings to find common ground on the division of revenue estimates. They are expected to agree on a common figure that will be presented to Parliament. This resolution bringing to a close the second meeting of the Intergovernmental Budget and Economic Council. Wilkis Danyabo, KTN.
Right, that story leads us to a big question tonight, and we ask, do you support the plan to nullify all the county government taxes? taxes. Do you support the plans to nullify the county taxes by the county governments? Do text in. The number is 22155, 22155. You can tweet me at Betty Kyallo or at KTN Kenya, and we'll be glad to share your views as we move along. All right, now the Council of Governors, the Governor's Council has faulted the Embu County Assembly members for their vote to impeach the Embu Governor, Martin Wambora. Now, the governors maintain the Assembly members flouted the law by going ahead with the vote against Wambora. At the Senate, Speaker Ekwe Eduro said the Senate will now take over the matter and investigate the accusations that led to the vote against the Embu Governor.
We attribute this to probably lack of understanding on the planning for what they intend to do. And we are putting in place such mechanisms as to be able to show what they are planning to do throughout the year and possibly what they intend to learn in such trips. But we indeed, as Council of Governors, we put a stop to a number of those trips, including even of our own officers, around November last year. Not because they wanted to make trips also, but they were being called to Nairobi by the so-called parent ministries.
The County Assembly of Embu approved motions, I quote, to remove from office by impeachment, end of quote, the County Governor and the Deputy Governor of Embu County.
Attorney General Professor Githu Muigai may head to the ICC in The Hague in 2 weeks' time in honor of a summon of witnesses who have refused to testify. Meanwhile, the High Court has ruled that journalist Walter Barasa, wanted by the ICC, can be extradited to The Hague.
The Attorney General travels to The Hague on Valentine's Day to respond to a request by ICC prosecutor Fatou Bensouda to have all witnesses who have declined to testify in the case against Deputy President William Ruto and journalist Joshua Sang summoned. Bensouda wants the witnesses summoned to court, while the defense teams have objected the move, saying it contradicts the Rome Statute and the Kenyan Constitution. The AG is brief to clarify Kenyan law on Bensouda's request, while at the same time updating the court on the status of cooperation between the state and the court. The prosecution's office has decried the alarming rate of witness tampering and intimidation in the Kenyan cases, saying it is unprecedented. Kenya and the ICC are equally at loggerheads, with the court accusing Kenya of non-cooperation in the ongoing trial of Deputy President William Ruto. Ruto's trial has been adjourned on several occasions for lack of witnesses to testify. And today in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, the Africa Union extended its onslaught on the ICC. African leaders attending the AU meeting have issued a 3-month ultimatum for the ICC to fix the office of the prosecutor or risk a mass pullout of all African states. AU accuses the OTP of partiality and reliance on secondary sources for evidence, mainly non-governmental organizations, which partly funds the court. AU wants a full restructuring of the prosecutor's office for its independence. Speaking in Addis, President Uhuru Kenyatta gave his thanks for the AU's flopped referral push, which precipitated amendments to the Rome Statute.
We have made significant progress, but hurdles remain. There are some proposals for amendments demanded by our union that are still pending, and I therefore urge that we remain united as we seek further changes to the statute.
Meanwhile, at the High Court in Nairobi, journalist Walter Baraza's bid to block his extradition to The Hague to face charges of witness tampering flopped. The High Court dismissed Baraza's extradition challenge, saying it was premature, as the High Court was not the right forum to determine whether or not his arrest warrant was rightly issued. Paving the way for his extradition, High Court Judge Justice Richard Mwongo stated Baraza can only give his defense once extradited.
Is that the judgment, by ignoring a number of obvious issues, it becomes a kind of judgment that we say is every lawyer's dream of a good judgment to appeal, a judgment that is very weak on the key issues. And therefore, for us, as far as we are concerned, and we thank the court for giving an order of stay, as far as we are concerned, ICC gets nothing immediately
Baraza has filed an immediate appeal to challenge his extradition. Samogina, KTN.
Now, about 2,000 families from the Kikuyu community in Konjoma village in Narok County have accused some officials at the local lands registry for illegally giving their land to members of the Maasai community. They have petitioned Cabinet Secretary for Lands, Charity Ngilu, to intervene. Patrick Amimo has the details.
A section of members of the Kikuyu community in Konjoma village in Narok County held a peaceful demonstration over alleged grabbing of their land. The more than 2,000 families say they each bought land in Narok County measuring between 1 acre and 5 acres over 3 decades ago. But the land was unregistered at the time of purchase, thus title deeds were never issued. They say they were uprooted from their farms during the ethnic clashes in the 1990s and sought refuge at nearby shopping centers. They, however, continued farming their land, though majority say they could not put up permanent structures on the farms after the clashes. They say an adjudication process was done for them to acquire title deeds. But to their shock and dismay, they claim some officials at the local land registry irregularly issued title deeds to their over 10,000 acres of land to members of the Maasai community who are neither known to them nor residents of the area.
Shamba niliingia mnamo mwaka wa 1965. Ndio title kutoka nikasikia shamba langu nina nini? Ina kesi.
Sisi tunataka serikali matusaidie. Kwa hiyo hii shamba ni yetu.
Na huyo mwenye ako na namba ya title deed namba 61 anakiri kwamba shamba yake anajua imetoka hapa, hajui imeenda wapi. Hajui kama iko mwisho hii iko mwisho ule.
Maajabu, yule mtu anayenistaki simjui, hata tukikutana sijui ni nani. Ninasikia tu hadithi title ilienda na mwenyewe.
Hiyo apiru nilikata wakati ya hii crisis. Kwa maana nisikia ati shamba yangu kuna mtu amechukua. Na sijawahi kumuona hata leo. Hiyo shamba mimi iko ndani yake.
Sijui wa kijana atikoisu tujini ni pesa na haribu watu. Alafu naongwa anakuja nyang'anya mishamba na miko todolianga na sema ba mimi nakwenda wapi? Nakwenda ng'ambo.
Let them come to us, cite the irregularity that has occurred. The commission has powers to investigate. It has powers even to call inquiries. It has powers even to recommend prosecution. And then we shall see who are those people who are doing that. Otherwise, it is illegal for anybody to take somebody's property.
Members still retain cards for the land they bought when the land was unregistered. But given that the title deeds have been issued to different people, the challenge now is how the dispute will be resolved to ensure those who bought the land are not dispossessed.
Because the person you are buying from did not have a title, they ought to have agreements, which are the seller and the buyer plus witnesses must have appended signature to say, we are selling so-and-so at how much and that kind of thing. If you produce those agreements, then they have to be respected.
Meanwhile, the National Land Commission held a validation workshop with the stakeholders for its 5-year strategic plan that seeks to answer the emotive question of land in Kenya. But the Commission faces the challenge of a strained budget against huge public expectations on the Commission to deliver its mandate.
We requested for 7 billion. We were said to be, what was approved was 3.4 billion. Out of 3.4 billion, we got 700 million.
Patrick Amimo, KTN.
Now, chaos erupted for the second time this week along the Thika superhighway following demonstrations by Matatu operators of the Zimmerman and Nairobi route. The operators hit the streets after the killing of 2 people last night in a carjacking incident along the route.
It is the second demonstration along Committee Road in less than 4 days. Matatu operators put their uniforms aside and took to the streets without their public service vehicles. For the better part of the day, they engaged Kasarani police officers in running battles as stranded Nairobi residents watched from a safe distance. There were those who managed to escape the long arm of the law, but others were not so lucky. Matatu operators say a carjacking that occurred last night is what triggered the unrest.
Basi venye ilihaijakiwa kuna wenye walipiga ripoti, si unaona? Sasa askari kuruko kwanza wafuate, wao walisubaje? Sasa venye walisikia watu wameanza kutupa barabara ndio wanafuata. Kuliko wafuate gari, walianza kwanza kushughulikia ule wameachwa wapi? Gari ziko. Kama sasa unaona gari ni kila mahali. Mbona hizo gari saa ile kumaharibika hazitumiki?
Although 2 people were killed in the carjacking incident with another 20 seriously injured, the riots that followed this morning fortunately had no major casualties.
If you have to chase after a bus that has robbers inside, together with the innocent passengers, and these robbers are also believed to be armed. So you have to be worried, because if you, for example, you attempt to shoot, you may kill the innocent. You may injure the innocent.
For these protesters, the authorities are not taking the matter seriously.
Ukiambia mtu fuata gari, iko na wakora ndani, hakushika mkora, hakuua mkora na aliwafuata. Mbona hakuua? Wao ndio wanafanya hiyo kazi.
Kwanza wa usiku hata ndio wabaya zaidi. Anakuja tu raia, hatuwe kuja hapa. Nini unafanya? Sisi ni askari, tufuate nyuma. Wewe unaenda ukuwafuata, wana pingu, wana nini, lakini sasa wewe kwa ile umeoneshwa, unajua sasa labda ni askari junior na bebanga bundu, uniform wanaweka nyumbani ya nini?
This protest comes only days after Matatu operators went on a rampage after the alleged murder of one of their colleagues by a police officer from Kasarani police station. The protest forced hundreds of residents from Zimmerman and Githurai to walk home. Catherine Omwando, KTN.
Now, the Judges and Magistrates Vetting Board has today sent 5 magistrates packing after the board found them unsuitable for service. Among the reasons given by the board was failure to account for large sums of money in their bank accounts. 11 other magistrates were, however, declared fit to continue serving in the judiciary. Wilson Buru has that story.
The 5 magistrates who have today lost their jobs include the Principal Magistrate in Mariakani, Michael Oduor Kizito, Principal Magistrate Wanguru Law Court, Teresa Mwangi, Acting Senior Principal Magistrate Robinson Oigara Onyoni, Senior Principal Magistrate Kericho Wilson Kaberian Kunja, and Acting Principal Magistrate Okore Selesa.
The concern, however, is that several of the magistrates in the acting positions are not sufficiently skilled or experienced for the new portfolios and are found to lack competency to hold these positions. The board therefore recommends that the Judicial Service Commission reassess the said positions.
In the case of Michael Oduor Kizito, the board said the magistrate failed to make full disclosure of his income and liability. Several large cash and check deposits were allegedly found in the magistrate's bank account, and the board says he failed to provide credible explanations. At the same time, the board accused the magistrate of improper conduct after a complainant alleged that at one time he saw the magistrate and the defendant walking together outside the court premises, chatting and laughing. In the case of Teresa Muthoni Mwangi, the board said it found that the magistrate lacked legal knowledge and appreciation of the law was inadequate. This was exhibited at one instance when she failed to permit the accused to cross-examine 2 of the witnesses, a fundamental right in any case. The magistrate also failed to provide credible explanations for the several large cash deposits in her account. Next in line was Robinson Oigara Onyoni, whom the board says was also found to have had large deposits of cash in his account that were not properly explained for. The board also accused the magistrate of improper conduct after he was allegedly found to have been motivated by personal factors to cause the arrest of a member of staff. Wilson Kaberian Kunja is another magistrate who lost his job with the board, accusing him of lacking honesty. The board says they were shocked when witnesses said the magistrate freely shared his phone number with litigants and met them in his chamber in the absence of the other party. The majority of the complaints touched on the integrity of the magistrate, with the allegations that the magistrate was corrupt. Finally, the board says Okore Selesa Assis was found to be incompetent and lacking proper research skills. The board said the magistrate's appreciation of the law is wanting and that she does not comprehend the basic principles of the practice. The vetting of the judges and magistrates began in February 2011 and has seen 154 judicial officers vetted. 25 have so far been sent packing after vetting. Wilson Buru, KTN Friday Briefing.
To matters health now, and doctors are once again threatening the government with drastic action this year over what they say is a reduction of their allowances by the county governments. Kenya Medical Practitioners and Dentists Union Secretary General Sultani Matendechero lamented that when they received their pay slips for January, their allowances were removed.
Sekta ya afya ni mahali ambapo tayari madaktari ni wachache, na itafika mahali hawa madaktari tayari wameanza kuondoka. Sisi kama muungano tunajua kwamba kuna wanachama wetu wengi wameshaondoka kwenye serikali, na tunatarajia kwamba haya mambo yakiendelea idadi itapunguka zaidi. Na tunajua kwamba shida kama hii ikiendelea kutokea, tutafika mahali ambapo hata kuirekebisha haitawezekana.
Right, it's time to take a break, just to have a breather. But before then, let's have a reminder of our big question tonight. And we're asking you, do you support the move to nullify county taxes implemented by the county governments? Do you support the plan to nullify county taxes that are being implemented by the county governments? The number is 22155, or if you like, you can tweet me at Betty Kyallo or at KTN Kenya, and I'll be sampling your views as we move along. Let's now take that short commercial break. Don't go away. When we come back, Saizet will join me here on the hot seat as my guest anchor for tonight. You do not want to miss that. Stay tuned to KTN Friday Briefing.
Frederick de Klerk now says ANC is engaging in racism.
You are watching KTN Friday Briefing.
Welcome back to KTN Friday Briefing. As we promised earlier, Saizet, as you can see, is in studio as our guest anchor. Welcome.
Thank you for inviting me.
Why are you holding your breath? You're like,
okay, you know, okay, I'm used to singing and acting and not sitting. You know, you're very composed. You know, and not being composed for like.
You're composed outside, but inside you have butterflies. It's normal.
But thank you for the invite.
Great, great to have you. Now, I hope it's not too late to congratulate you on your wedding.
No, it's not.
It's not too late.
But let's have present.
Okay, actually, now you've put me to task. I like it. I'll do that. Yeah. Now, you know, it's good that you've removed some traffic for some of us. You know, now umetengeneza njia we'll be able to. But then, how is marriage life? And be honest. Don't say it's really nice and all. Tell us the truth.
Okay, the truth is this. There's no more sleeping and eating fries.
Oh, really?
All the time.
Oh, so you have to be in the kitchen.
You have to cook.
Cooking that ugali.
And cooking that ugali. Even my nails that I is the feature because of washing the spurias and
so
stuff.
It's no longer about the salon.
I'm a traditional kind of woman.
Okay.
I don't believe like my husband should be cooked for someone should cook for him or something. So mimi nakupika hiyo ugali. Naosha vyombo. Asubuhi kama ako supposed kwenda somewhere early. As kama ni 6 o'clock you wake up.
That's a challenge.
And you cook. Me, I was used to sleeping till 11. But I don't feel like eating apple and chuchipo, you know, or whatever you order something
pizza
or whatever. Yeah. But nowadays it's cooking.
It's cooking.
Yes.
I hope he appreciates that.
Yeah, and he loves to eat and he loves good food, so I have to cook.
All men love to eat anyway. So what have you come to love about him that probably you did not know? Now, what is it that you're realizing about him and you're like, I made the right choice?
I must say he has a very good heart.
Okay.
My husband has a very, very good heart. Sometimes people take advantage of it, but as in he will never do anything to hurt someone.
Yeah.
He'll never.
Okay.
He has a beautiful heart.
So, and what is something that you found out about him that is terribly annoying? Does he snore?
No. The thing
he's not so
the thing is, baby, let me say this. Okay, the thing is, he's extra caring.
Come on.
As in, zile in a point that as in he cares, he worries about everything I do.
Okay.
Everything. Kila kitu as in, even when I'm here, I'm sure he's worried where he is. As in, so he's always
that's a
worried.
Good thing.
No, sometimes
there
it can
horror
be
stories from women out there.
Okay. Get a saved man.
Oh, good. Oh, maybe. Actually, you mentioned it. The being saved. There's so many critics out there who have different ideas of why you got saved. Some say that is because maybe DJ Mo wanted you you to get saved, you know, to be the perfect wife. Others say that, you know, it's because the gospel industry is a lucrative one. Which is which? Is it either of them?
Neither. Neither of them. Actually, I got saved because I just felt empty, and I realized everything is vanity. You can lose everything in a minute, and money can't get you anything.
Yes.
And I was very sad, very lonely. As much as I was everywhere doing everything, I was empty, and I started drinking. And I've never been an alcoholic, even when I was in the secular world. But I noticed I started drinking. I noticed some of my characters were changing, and that's when I realized, hey, I have to put an end to this. I have to stop this. And that's when I realized, when was the time that I was sober and happy? I remember that girl, Lynette Munyali, in State House Girls. I was a part of the CU committee, that's Christian Union, and that's the time I was the happiest. So that's the time, and I was a born-again Christian. I was poor, and but I was a born-again Christian. And that's when I realized, you know what, you don't need money and all this fame for anything. So that's why I went and ran. I actually ran back to Christ. Yes.
And the song Mateke, it was, I think, the first song that you sang after being born again.
Yes.
What inspired it? Because it means so much to you, but out there people are,
Okay, I know there's a whole drama about it, but the song is a testimony. Testimony yangu. You know, Jesus got me from the jaws of the devil. As I was just nilikuwa tu mtumishi wa shetani, kupoteza watu and all that. And Jesus forgave me everything that I did and brought me back as his child, na kaniosha na nikakuwa new, and now I'm happy, I'm sober, I'm excited about life, I'm positive, and that's why I sing Mateke. But I sing it from my heart. Ni Yesu alipiga shetani mateke, as in Jesus kicked the devil out of my life, as in Jesus replaced the devil. So nilitafuta a nice way of Jusingesema Yesu ali replace shetani. Sasa niko huru. No, I had to make it musical. So I thought, what can people understand? What do people relate to? And I was like, Kenyans, okay, kicking something out.
And then they will be looking at some of those pictures in a short while. But I mean, when you look at, even some people on Twitter were asking, I mean, when you look at those songs that you used to sing before, how does it make you feel? Like Leo Kutawaka Moto, I can't sing, I'm not good at singing, so let me not even try. How does it make you feel, coming from where you were and now you're such a different person?
Honestly, siko ubaya, but I feel bad, and I feel like if people can stop playing it, stop playing those music and play my new songs, you understand? Because hiyo ni ya kupoteza watu na mimi mwenyewe nisha find a way, so there's no point of making people, like derailing people. You know, Jesus is the way, the truth and the light. Hizi mambo zingine za vidonge na shamba boy, those were just not right.
I like that ulikuwa unapoteza watu lakini sai you're leading them to Christ.
Yes, which is the narrow road, lakini hiyo ndio the right road.
Is it tough?
It is tough, of course. It is tough because most people, hata watu wananiona kwa TV sai, some people think I'm not saved, you know.
Some people, so many people who are like, is she really saved?
Some people think I'm not saved, and they'll tweet funny things, they'll Facebook funny things. But one thing my pastor told me, and my family members and my sisters, especially my sister, alisema, the opinion that matters is Jesus.
Exactly.
Because he knows your heart. You see, people judge you by the way you look, but God looks at the heart. And you can never, siwezi kachini nianze kuambia watu wacheni kuniona ni kama sijokoka. I can't convince anyone. You see, it's only Jesus' opinion that matters. And with time, people will see, for real, says it's nilikuwa nimepewa 2 months, saizi imepita,
they'll count years.
So I think in 3 months it will be a year.
All right, and I'm very happy for you. I'm happy that you're happy.
Thank you.
All right, so I want us to deviate just a little bit and just take a look at some of those pictures that have been going around on, social media, courtesy of so many people. This is a funny one, and I hope our audience, our viewers at home, can look at this. I mean, when these pictures came out, what was going through your? This is
okay. Can I be totally honest?
Please.
I am going to be totally honest in front of Kenyans. Me, I didn't know this was going on, by the way. Because I'm analog. You can see my phone. It's that Nokia. It's a very tiny.
I think that's what I'll get you for your wedding present. This is actually my favorite.
So when someone told me about this, and I went to look at them, and
where were you kicking this guy?
No, I'm kicking them up the stairs. They need to graduate. I think. Me, I laughed. I laughed. I said, okay, this was the funniest.
This is by John
I watched that movie.
It's fire 300.
So it was funny. Anyway, let people have fun. Okay, kicking Illuminati out of Kenya. This is good because someone has prophesied. I'll kick Illuminati out of Kenya.
Hoping that it's not.
Yeah, but anyway, it's interesting. And me, I laughed. And people are having fun with the photos. I laughed. And one thing I thank God is I think I'm one of the few artists. My performance photos have trended. Yes.
Which is good.
Yes, which is good.
And the thing is, I'll also share this with you. A lady, I can't really locate her the tweet right now, but she was saying, why was size 8, she's a lady, she's supposed to be a lady. Why was her leg all up in the sky?
Okay, let me tell you something. Yes, I am a lady, but I'm not here to entertain the devil in any way.
Okay.
I'm not here to bebeleza the devil. Mimi hii yote ni kupiga shetani.
Unampiga kabisa.
But it's physically. But in the spiritual realm, that's what's happening. Now, David danced until his clothes
came off.
What was he doing till his clothes came off?
Was
he sitting like this?
No. It's not possible.
And then in Christ, there's a verse in the back. David aliambia wasi, akawambia, hakuna kujibeba mzuri, yani having class mbele ya Mungu. The only person who has class in this whole world is God. Mimi, nitasimama, let me just start.
Okay, this is interesting.
I will stand and dance for Jesus because I used to dance for the devil. I will kick the highest kick for Jesus because I used to dance for who? The devil. So I will continue kicking and dancing for Jesus because he saved me. Nilikuwa naeka Nathan, I
remember
funny things, but because of Jesus, I have to kick saying, thank you, Jehovah God, because you've replaced the devil into my life.
Say that, high five. I like that.
Yes.
Just, okay, now
let me go back.
I think you need to cool down because I think there's a sermon happening here. All right, now. So you're our guest anchor tonight, and I love this conversation. We'll continue with the chit chat, but I want us to, I want you to introduce a story to our audience. Our viewers, millions of them who are watching. Your camera is come too. I think, Director, let's show our audience today. Yeah, that's the camera she's going to be using. As you can see, Godi, if you can just, move the auto cue a bit. Yeah, there we go. That's how she's going to be doing it. Thank you, Godi, for that. So, it's just enjoy it. Just enjoy it, and of course, start by introducing yourself. Yeah, and have fun with it.
Okay. Good evening. Good evening, Kenyans. This is Size 8, and you're watching KTN News Friday Briefing, and I'm your news guest anchor. Okay, sorry. I'm your news guest anchor, Size 8. Bear with me. Mina mezoea kuimba si hivyo. Okay, let's start. Artists across the country now have an improved way of securing funds after the launch of the Sana Sacco. The Sacco will enable artists to borrow loans and invest their savings at all levels of their businesses. Wow. They will have to pay a registration fee of 500 shillings and a payment of 1,000 shillings every month. Speaking at the launch in Nairobi, Youth Fund Chairman Gore Semelango praised the initiative, saying that it will help the youth, especially those who are unemployed.
So we decided we work on a pilot program on credit guarantee scheme where the only collateral you have will be your idea. So we agreed with them that we'll give you money to secure the risk that is attendant to, the borrowing. So we agreed with them that we'll give them 100 million to secure any risk, and they will be able to lend young people money without asking for any collateral.
We want to recruit and register every Msanii countrywide. We are going to use, we are going to go through the counties, and we are going to create what we call platforms within the counties so that people within themselves are able to register, tap into the art in different areas. We are also planning to start what we call county tourism. County tourism in the sense that we are going to have county culture artists.
You did quite well. I was laughing at you. I was laughing at you because, you know, it was reading like artists across the country now have, but you did well, trust me. I think if you give me a mic right now and to sing Mateke, I will just do badly, you know, like 2 out of 10.
That's why we can never change jobs. We can never change them.
Yeah, let's just stay the way we are. There are a couple of people who are saying that you're doing quite well. You know, with the reading and everything, and they're very happy for you. You know, you've inspired them in so, in different ways. Let's come back to your life. I mean, what do you do apart from singing? Is there anything that you're pursuing?
There's something we're planning to do. Okay, I've started it in the initial stages. We want to do a very big campaign for the girl child, keeping the girl child in school, because research has shown that 4 days every month a girl misses out on school because of her menstrual flow. And maybe that is the day ile kitu inakuja kwa exam and then she misses out.
Or even the exam itself.
Yeah, she misses out. So we are partnering with a few people, trying to make it bigger and to reach more people. And it will need a call for every single woman who earns something to participate in it, because why should a girl always miss 4 days? Imagine 4 times 12. Those are 48 days a girl misses out of school. So that is a campaign that's ongoing, and we are trying to make it bigger and better and reach many people to keep a girl child in school. It's called Kaschana Kangai. So it's just providing sanitary towels.
Oh, definitely. So just before we take a commercial break, when is the next song coming out? You know?
Actually, very soon.
When? You better come and, you know, launch it here on Friday Briefing.
But not on briefing.
Why? You know, you're scared of me. All right. We'll continue with the chit-chat a bit later, but take us to a short commercial break. No, you can use this camera. This one that is hanging all over the place.
Am I reading?
No, you're not reading anything.
Okay, so
this one is just make it flow from your, this one, this big one here.
We are going for a short commercial break. This is Friday Briefing with Betty Kyallo and Size 8. Please don't go away. Usiende kwingine na usichange station.
Kabisa. See you.
You are watching KTN Friday Briefing.
Welcome back. Time for business. Now, high cost of food prices in January drove up inflation figures marginally to 7.21% compared to 7.15% registered in January. According to the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics, food prices rose by 10.14% during the month, while recreation and culture rose by 12.12% compared to the same month last year. During the period under review, alcoholic beverages, tobacco and narcotics also rose by 7.71%, while health and transport went up by 5.18% and 5.62% respectively. Now, the planned takeover of CMC Motors by a Dubai-based group, Al Futtaim, could hit a rock if current minority shareholders do not honor their request. Estimated at 49.4, the minority shareholders hold the key to stealing the 7.5 billion shillings deal. While speaking to journalists in Nairobi for the first time on their proposed takeover, representatives of Al Futtaim noted that despite having the approval of the majority shareholders, there was a slow response from the rest. To complete the takeover, the group must secure a 75% shareholding threshold from all current owners of CMC Motors. The takeover period runs to February 14th, following a 3-week extension.
stands for. So without any further...
welcome everybody, thank you for coming across this job.
Brands, accessories, lubricants.
Next quarter, we're going to be at next month's results. If you're a privately owned business, which date when the offer closes, and all the shareholders of CMC have to submit their forms to KCB or to any stockbroker before that date.
Our long-term view on Kenya and on CMC, we were able to push that price to 13, so that's the price we believe the company is fairly valued at.
Now, the county government of Homa Bay has launched an ambitious poultry project that it expects will lower poverty levels in that region. The project will see over 60,000 women and young people in the county benefit. According to the governor, Cyprian Awiti, his government has already spent close to 100 million shillings in the project. In the first phase of the project, youth and women from 40 wards in the county were issued with 240 poultry incubators. The governor further added that his government estimates earnings of about 1.7 million shillings every year from each group if well managed. Currently, over 70% of poultry products consumed in Homa Bay comes from neighboring counties, noted the governor.
The success of this project will hold the capital flight that has impoverished our people for years. Research has shown that a huge percentage of our money, which is unearned from employment and business, only benefit other counties because we rely on the food, including those we can grow ourselves.
Now, the Nairobi Securities Exchange has unveiled the Investment Challenge 2014 as it seeks to demystify how financial securities are traded at the bourse. The challenge allows participants to receive 2 million shillings virtual startup capital that they use to trade on securities listed on the NSE using real-time data. Over the 3-month period, the participants get a mentor to guide them as they build financial management and entrepreneurial skills, in addition to learning the risks and gains involved in trading. Winners in the challenge take home 200,000 shillings that they are expected to use in purchasing listed securities at the exchange, as well as internship opportunities. The move is part of the bourse's efforts to build financial literacy among the country's youths and also encourage them to develop a culture of saving and investing at an early age. Still in business, pension funds are calling on Labour Minister Kazungu Kambi to put in measures for a smooth rollover to the NSSF Act of 2013. Philip Kitany has more.
On the list of issues that need clarification is what will happen to the present NSSF Provident Fund after the 5-year period upon which it is to be closed or expires. Players in the sector are calling upon Labour Cabinet Secretary Kazungu Kambi to give directions, with a majority being of the view that whatever remains in the Provident Fund be transferred to the new NSSF scheme.
We need to inform people how they can focus on their retirement so that they start accumulating assets.
So far, there are no guidelines for those who want to contract out their Tier 2 contributions from NSSF, as the law is also silent on tax allowable limits for contributions and benefits, with no word yet from the Kenya Revenue Authority on how the new NSSF law will affect taxation of pension.
The intention is that NSSF provides for a minimum pension, which is geared towards the national average earnings.
There is, however, a legal notice that requires all statutory contributions to be invested only in government securities, something that players in the industry want clarification on, including how funds in the old Provident Fund and the new one, as well as the pension scheme, will be invested.
It means that if schemes are able to manage their members' benefits, they can opt out and continue managing it. Where those who do not have schemes should also now contribute Tier 2 to NSSF so that in the end they have a reasonable benefit.
In the old system, NSSF paid out benefits in lump sum. The new law now allows for 1/3 of the contributions to be paid in cash, while the remaining 2/3 will be used to purchase an annuity which will provide one with monthly pension payment for life. The new act does not exempt civil servant and contributors to statutory and non-statutory schemes, as well as workers in certain parastatals, from making contributions to NSSF. Philip Keitan, KTN Business.
And just before Mind Your Language, let's have a recap of our top story tonight. And county governments will have to defer to the Commission on Revenue Allocation before imposing taxes in their counties. In a meeting between the governors and the Deputy President William Ruto, the forum resolved that the levies being charged by county governments are illegal and could hurt economic growth by increasing the cost of doing business. It was noted that county governments erred by failing to consult the national government before implementing the new rates. Now, apartheid in South Africa may have ended the violence, but didn't completely eliminate racism. Freddie de Klerk, South Africa's last white president, has blamed ruling party NSC for South Africa's increased inequality that is currently affecting distribution of jobs and social grants to the population of over 53 million people. KTN's Joy Bieber reports.
He paved way for the release of Nelson Mandela in 1990, shared a Nobel Peace Prize with South Africa's first black president. And now de Klerk, South Africa's last white president, has accused the country's ruling party ANC of discriminating against the white race in its latest party transformations.
South Africa is once again becoming one of the most racially prescriptive societies in the world.
De Klerk's remarks come a little over a month after the burial of Nelson Mandela, who was revered as a pillar against apartheid policies in South Africa. In his very first speech after release from jail, the late Nelson Mandela emphasized the need to reconcile the African National Congress and all races in South Africa.
The ANC is very much concerned to address the question of the concern of whites over the demand of one person, one vote. And the ANC is concerned to address that problem and to find a solution which will suit both the blacks and the whites in this country.
However, despite the transformation and achievements by the ANC, de Klerk suggests that racial discrimination has made a quiet, vicious comeback.
The ideology of demographic representativity is once again creating a situation where South Africans are judged on the color of their skin and not on the content of their character or on the contribution they can make.
The African National Congress that marked 20 years of democracy free of white rule has, in the absence of its hero Nelson Mandela, been blamed for failure to promote equality. Critics claim that ANC's transformations have only benefited the emerging black middle class and elite and not the vast majority of truly disadvantaged South Africans. Joy Bieber, KTN Friday Briefing.
Well, it's that time that we cross over live to Kisumu County, where Willis, the English teacher, better known as Willis, the word master, is standing by. Willis, great to see you. I love your shirt.
Great to see you, Betty. You know, for yourself, always smart, cool, and tough.
Oh, really? Oh, I like that. Willis, let's get to it. I know we can go on and on and on. Now, Willis, do we say non-stop or non-stop?
Oh, Betty, we say non. That is a prefix. We say non, N-O-N, so we say non-stop, not non-stop, the way most people find themselves saying. We also say non-starter, non-starter, nonsense or nonsense. We also have non-governmental organization. I'm talking about a prefix, non, meaning not. But we have also the word N-O-N-E, which is none, and we also have N-U-N, which is also pronounced as none.
Wow, okay, so it's non-governmental organizations. That will help so many of us journalists. All right, Willis, let's continue. What do you call a person who sells fish or seafood?
Are you talking about what many people call fishmonger?
Oh, yes.
We don't say monger. When we are talking about the English Betty, we say manga. That letter O takes a mid-central vowel R. Manga, fish manga, just like we talk about war manga, and we also have rumor manga, not rumor monger, not war monger. And we have the word mangrel, not mongrel as commonly mistaken.
Right, Willis.
Yes.
Let's move on to the next one. Do we say election or election?
We say E, election. Elect, electrify, electricity, electronic. The point is the first letter E takes the sound E, not E.
So it's electrify. Interesting stuff there. Moving on, do we say patron or patron?
Patron, just like we have matron, not matron. We also have the word patriarch, which many people say patriarch. That A takes the sound A. Matriarch, patriarch, matron, patron, not patron.
All right, Willis. Now this next one is, it's a tough one. What do you call that speech that is, said in remembrance or praise of someone who is dead? Is it eulogy or eulogy? That one, there's so many interesting pronunciations of that word.
We say eulogy. There is no eulogy. There is something that in linguistics or in phonetics we call it intrusive vowel O. That is U-O. That O is not there. Okay. It's eulogy. And we also say eulogize. We don't say eulogize. That O, the first one, is not there. So it's intrusive.
Intrusive.
Yes.
So what's your surprise word for tonight?
My surprise words, to begin with, I believe you have heard people talking about monetary. Monetary.
Yes.
We don't say monetary. Just like we don't say money, we say money.
Definitely.
So that which is connected to money, we say monetary. Monetary. Just like we have IMF, International Monetary Fund. International Monetary Fund, not monetary. Then we have also the word luncheon. Luncheon. Many people say luncheon, but we don't have a diphthong, that is a dual vowel glide. We don't have in that word. Just say luncheon, just like we have truncheon, bludgeon, and surgeon, not surgeon.
Definitely, I like that, luncheon. I like that. Let's move on to our feedback. On Twitter, Jerry Ojwang wants us to remind him the correct pronunciation of schedule or schedule.
Under the British English or in the English pronunciation, we have what we call a trigraph, a combination of three letters forming one sound. That is S, C, and H, forming the sound sh, not sk.
Okay.
So we say schedule. But that is British. There are people who would prefer the American accent or pronunciation. In the American accent, we say schedule. The British, schedule.
Schedule. Right. A Kenyan scribe wants to know the correct pronunciation of battery. Do we say battery or battery?
It has two acceptable pronunciations. We are talking about alternatives here. So you can say battery, or you also say battery. Okay. Battery or battery.
Now, Willis, finally and very, very quickly, what is the past tense of plead? Like to plead guilty. Is it pleaded, he pleaded guilty, or he pled guilty?
That is now grammar. Anyway, though I concentrate much on pronunciations, but Betty, when we talk about British English, the past tense of the word plead is pleaded, pleaded. But when you talk of the North American English, you'd say pled, pled. Okay. Just like we have also alternatives. You'd say spelled, and you'd also say spelled. Those ones are allowed, both of them.
Okay. Wow, Willis, always a pleasure having you. Thank you so much for tonight's lesson.
Anyway, I've enjoyed it, and always my pleasure, Betty.
Right, Willis, the word master, coming to us live from Kisumu County to teach us those troublesome English words. Thank you very much for watching Mind Your Language, only on Friday Briefing. Interesting feedback I'm just getting to see right now on Mind Your Language. Let's now take a short commercial break. Sports is up next. Stay tuned.
Forget the charges. Justin Bieber's fame keeps rising.
Laikipia County government promises to renovate Nyahururu Stadium, which is in a deplorable condition.
You are watching KTN Friday Briefing.
Welcome to sports. Now, after a 9-year absence from the Kenya Premier League, Shabana FC are working their way and strengthening their team with hopes of featuring in the Kenya Premier League come next year. Well, this comes as the 4 Kenya Premier League teams to participate in the Kenya Power Charity Cup, and their fans are assured of their safety during the matches.
All is set for the second edition of the Kenya Power Charity Cup that is expected to take the center stage at the Nyayo National Stadium on Sunday, 2nd February. GoTV Cup champions AFC Leopards will be up against Mathare United at 9 o'clock, while Kenya Premier League champions Gor Mahia will battle defending champions Sofapaka at 11 o'clock, before the final at 4 o'clock, pitting the winners of both matches.
So systems go. We are ready for a fun-filled day on 2nd, that is on Sunday.
We are going to deploy regular police, investigation police, undercover police, and also anti-terrorist police officers.
Besides soccer action, the organizers have also lined up entertainment activity with the local and international musicians expected to thrill the crowds.
And I want to hand this over to the Secretary General.
Still on matters of soccer, in a temporal move, former top flight league Shabana FC has shifted their home base from Gusii Stadium, which is currently undergoing renovations, to the Safaricom Stadium Kasarani, ahead of the Football Kenya Federation 2014 National Super League kickoff.
Shabana is back, and back in a big way.
According to the new Shabana administration, they plan to make a comeback in the Premier League. Among the newly elected officials are Chairman Jared Naviton, Vice Chairman Richard Omwange, and Peter Mwando as Secretary General.
And we're actually calling for support, not only from the corporate world, but also from the fans of Shabana.
Shabana is a community club that was formed in 1980. Moses Wahisi, KTN Sports.
Now, following KTN's airing of the sad state of affairs at the Nyahururu Municipal Stadium a week ago, the Laikipia County government has now pledged to pump in some 3 million shillings this month for the renovation of the sports facility. Victor Ogale gives us more insight into this story.
Last week, KTN toured the Nyahururu Municipal Stadium and highlighted the shameful state of the sports facility that has produced world-class athletes. It now seems the Laikipia County government has now seen the sense of a sports facility 10 months after getting into office.
Vile hii kiwanja iko, sisi ni vile kama county government tuliikuta. Vile iko. Hakuna hata kitu tunaweza jidai hapa tumeyafanya. Wakati wetu wa kuyafanya ni huu.
The stadium is said to get a major face uplift after the Laikipia County government pledged to pump in 3 million shillings starting next month. This will be part of over 50 million shillings that is being sought from donors by the county to upgrade the stadium, which is in a high altitude zone.
Ni wakati ni vijana waliniambia kwamba wakati wanataka kucheza hapa wanakuta gate imefungwa. Hawezi pata nafasi ya kuaccess hapa. Sasa najiuliza kiwanja ni ya nini? Ikiwa vijana hawezi chezea hapa, ikiwa imefugwa, ni ya nini? Ni ya ng'ombe. Ni ya ng'ombe. Na hata vijana hawana ng'ombe.
While stakeholders in Nyahururu wait for this to be a reality, for now athletes in Nyahururu will have to make do with this shell in form of a stadium. Victor Ogale, KTN Sports.
The national women's volleyball coach, David Lungaho, on Friday dropped 4 players from the 18 who have been training for the forthcoming FIVB Women's World Cup Championship qualifiers, which will take place in Kenya in February. Lungaho excluded Kenya pipeline trio Agrippina Kundu, Farida Efumbi and Triza Atuka, together with Leonida Kasaya of Blue Triangle. Lungaho will further drop 2 more players after 2 weeks. The team is expected to start residential training at the Moi Sports Center, Kasarani, early next week. The team has been training at the Kasarani indoor facility since the beginning of the year. The final FIVB Women World Championships Group 2 qualifiers to be held in Nairobi from the 16th to the 23rd of February. Let's now come to our news ender tonight. Justin Bieber's arrest kicked the already frenzied media surrounding him into overdrive. But what is likely to be at the center of the attention? Well, here's CNN GN Moose with the story.
Ever wonder what it's like on the other side of the tinted windows? Ever imagine how it feels to have your vehicle swarmed by the press, surrounded by reporters dying to describe your every move?
Oh, sorry, I was going to call you and say I'm right in front of the limo if you guys want me to talk on the phone.
We wanted to give you a taste of 30 seconds in the life of Justin Bieber, 30 seconds at the intersection of fame and media. That's how long it took Bieber, wearing the backwards cap, to go from his SUV to a Toronto police station to be booked, mobbed by crazed fans, surrounded by a sea of upraised cell phones. An officer giving the nod, get ready to run the gauntlet, go.
Hey, Justin!
Such mayhem that almost nobody got a decent shot, and then he was gone.
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness!
Followed by yellow-jacketed police who both arrest him and protect him.
Hey, there's no reason to punch people! No reason to punch people, you
I don't know if you can hear me, Stephanie. I'm going to go over to our cameraman. There is a lot of swear words going on.
If anyone knows what this is like, it's Bieber's fellow Canadian, Toronto's hard-partying mayor, Rob Ford, who came to Bieber's defense.
What is going on with Canada's worst export, Justin Bieber?
I wish I was as successful as he was. So he's 19 years old, guys. Think back to when you were 19, you know?
It's true.
My 19 was never like this 19. And that was just from getting a glimpse of him through a window.
Oh my God, he smiled!
The morning after that media tornado, Justin Bieber's father tweeted out this picture. Bieber sleeping alongside his little brother. His dad captioned it, "Safe and sound, hashtag home sweet home." Or has home become where the cameras are? Shh, don't wake him. Jeannie Mo, CNN, New York.
Back up! Back up!
Interesting way that Ginny Moose tells that story. Let's review a big question tonight, and we had asked you, do you support the move or the plan to nullify county taxes implemented by the county government? And 75% say yes, they do support that plan to nullify those taxes, and 25%, as you can see on your screens, say no, that they do not support the move or the plans to nullify county taxes that have been implemented by the county governments. Thank you very much for sending in your responses and for participating on the Big Q tonight. Right, so we're just about to wind up KTN Friday Briefing, but I promised you that, Size 8 is still in the building, bringing the house down. I think you leave all the cameramen and me, saved and, everything, but it's good.
Okay, it's just because I'm just a Jesus Christ fanatic.
Yeah.
Because as in the love of Christ is amazing.
Yeah.
He's the only person who loves you no matter what.
Yes.
No matter what you've done, where you've gone. And then everywhere I go, allow me to do this.
Yeah.
Take 30 seconds of this time and just tell anyone who's at home about the good message of Jesus Christ. He died on the cross for you and is there to save you no matter the situation. I know most of us feel alone. Unajua hakuna mtu hajai feel peke yake.
Yeah.
To a point you want to kill yourself. Don't kill yourself. Don't be discouraged even if people are talking about you. There's one person who loves you just the way you are, and his name is Jesus Christ, and he died on Calvary for you.
I like that. Thank you for that message. All right, before we let you go, what is the one thing that people do not know about you? What is it that I do not know about you?
Niseme.
Tema.
Okay, well, okay, one thing I'll say is something, I love noodles.
Noodles.
I can eat noodles in the morning, in the evening, in the afternoon, in the night, whatever, without anything. Just noodles.
But I hope you don't, prepare noodles for your husband.
No. I cook for him.
And then you eat noodles.
I cook for him anything he wants, whatever he wants.
Yeah.
But even if nimetoka kupika kuku, nikiona noodles, I'll eat the noodles. Yeah.
All right, so when can we look out for you? Maybe your next performance for your fans out there?
Next performance, yeah. Actually, nimeona kwa sports news.
Okay.
This Sunday, 2nd February, at least I remembered.
Yeah.
2nd February, this Sunday at the Nyayo Stadium, the KPLC Charity Cup.
Okay.
Lovers of football, kuja. Kama upendi football, kuna bouncing castle. Let's have fun.
Oh, for adults also.
Yes.
Kuna bouncing castle ya adults. Darn it. Okay, thank you so much, Isaiah, for your time. It was a pleasure having you. Thank you so much for blessing us with your appearance. And all the best.
I hope I've not made a fool out of myself.
No, trust me. You're one of my best uncles ever since we started. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Father.
And that's where we wrap up this edition of KTN Friday Briefing. Always a pleasure having you. A lot of fun. It's adrenaline rush for all of us. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Bessie Kyallo. See you again next Friday, God willing.
Thank you.
You are?
And I am size 8. And we were alongside with Betty Kyallo. This was the
Friday Briefing. Thank you very much. I say it.